I think my father wrote a will. That's why you wouldn't hear where they're saying we are struggling for our father's property. His will went along the line of shares he gave to his children in his companies. Now, Star Paper Mill, the majority share was given to my late brother now, Evangelist Echeme Nnana-Kalu. So, and the Nkalan brothers where we are here, the headship was given to my elder brother, the first son. He was the first recycling plant in the whole of West Africa.
Hello guys, this is Ketulot TV. We're live in Abia State, and we are here to meet Engineer George Kalu. This is the second son of Chief Nnana-Kalu from Abriba. We're here to meet him so that he will tell us more about this great man, his father. Let's go. This is Kalu and Brothers Limited. This is his office in Aba. We're going to see him. Understand?
My name is Engineer George Nnana-Kalu from Abriba, in Afia local government of Abia State. I am the second son of late Chief Nnana-Kalu Abawadikizu of Abriba, OFR. My father started his journey quite early from Abriba. He had interest to go to school. His own father, Chief Kalu Oko, didn't want him to go to school because of the fact that we are from a royal kindred in Amub. And at that time, they used to be scared of twins, and they didn't want that association which the Christendom brought to them then. So he rather encouraged them to go for apprenticeship, trading apprenticeship, which is what they did. The late Chief Nnana took him and his younger brother, late Chief Kalu Oko of blessed memory, and they sojourned to Itu in this current Abia State. That was the first port of call. Having served his master, he and his brother, they moved to Calabar as their first place of endeavor. He was involved in second-hand clothing, lingeries, bras, all that. Grade 1 second-hand clothing. He was even competing with USC at that time. But it happened that his goods were seized that necessitated even his younger brother going to jail on his behalf. And that is what made him to relocate back to Umuahia from Calabar, where he had tutelage with, even come in contact with people like late Chief Igwuoke Bonaventure of blessed memory. These are people who mentored him as well. So when he came back to Umuahia, they started a transport business with his friend late Chief Okafamang, this Austin and Maurice Bolekaja kind of motor, Umuahia to it. And from there, he moved to Aba. He established in Aba. In Aba, his business grew. And due to that incident between what happened to his goods in Calabar, he stopped trading in contraband goods. He focused more on legitimate cargo. So my father has gone through metamorphosis of several businesses palm oil, palm kernel, using Nnana Brothers Limited, stockfish business, and his business grew tremendously. He had list of trucks for his palm produce business. In fact, they started a partnership called Abriba Merchant Company before the war, where they were involved in this palm produce business. So most of the vehicles they had then, the war consumed them because they were conscripted by the Biafran army for the purpose of the military. They said, but notwithstanding, my father was involved with purchasing of arms for Biafra during the war, and also importing wares. They were being shot at in the air, whether it's Ihiala Airport, Uli Airport, and we survived the war. Even while we escaped from Abriba while he was abroad to Umuahia to Mbano. And when he came back, he set up his office because Umuahia has fallen then at Nkwere and relocated us at Mbano. From there, we ended up at Ihioma. That's where we were before the end of the war. After the war, everybody knew what happened to every Igbo man, how much they were giving. But he had to go to Lagos. He had properties in Lagos. He had in Port Harcourt. The ones in Port Harcourt, Calabar were consumed by the abandoned property saga, except the ones in Aba. Sometimes property in Echeme, the army was using it as their mess. So we had to start up again in this particular building, 19 Milvati. So by getting to Lagos, his tenants in Lagos paid him the arrears of his rent, and that's how he started Business Express Transport Company, starting with Kumbi Bus. Kumbi Bus, knocking engine with the M&K, Mandelas and Kalahari. Before he went to Leventis, these are all Lebanese entities, and he started the truck business with Leventis. His Business Express grew. He was still doing his importation of stockfish, importation of cement. But along the line, when Obasanjo, they had a seizure of his cement or something like that, he decided to enter into manufacturing. That's how Star Paper Mill Ltd was born. Started producing exercise books, toilet rolls, and stores before expanding to the recycling plant at Orenta, using waste paper to recycling waste paper into tissue. He was the first recycling plant in the whole of West Africa at that time. So many things happened while he was there. He helped. He was politically involved. He was with the MPN. They all helped to grant pardon to Michael Okpara, to Ojukwu, returning back to Nigeria, and so on and so forth. Even when they tried to see if the MPN can successfully deliver Shehu Shagari in the core East, especially Imo State of that time, they pledged money, properties to take loan for that campaign. Most of those properties were not of value. Then the one he pledged was the site of Star Paper Mill Ltd, and the bank came to confuse. He eventually had to pay the debt of all other Igbo members of the MPN at that time. So he has helped. He was a philanthropist. He helped so many people while he was alive. Apart from building from scratch to finish Presbyterian Church, Agmogudo Parish in Abriba, he made his mark while he was here. So we surely miss him. I think most of his landmarks are there, whether it's manage well as he left them or not. That's another issue altogether. But for somebody who came from a poor parentage without any this thing to go to the height that he did, I think he laid a good foundation even for us who are his children. He even left behind good name that people still make references to. So that is the much I can say for now with regards to my late father, Chief Nnana-Kalu, OFR. Well, I can count in terms of wives. There are ones they don't remember, but I think my father had about 4 wives. The first one that had 2 daughters for him, those 2 daughters died. While that time, late Sir Francis Echeme was presiding in Akahaba Hospital in Abriba. So that particular incident of the wife not being in bad manners and the daughters died, nobody talks about that wife again. So the second wife, Elizabeth, the third wife, my mother, Elizabeth didn't have any child. Then the fourth wife, Chief Nnana-Kalu. So there are 4 wives. I'm not talking about children born out of wedlock. We also had some of those who are part of our family. Well, I think my father wrote a will. That's why you wouldn't hear where they're saying we are struggling for our father's property. His will went along the line of shares he gave to his children in his companies. Now, Star Paper Mill, the majority share was given to my late brother now, Evangelist Echeme Nnana-Kalu. So, and the Nkalu brothers where we are here, the headship was given to my elder brother, the first son. So, Nkalu brother is a parent company. There was not much capital per se, not property, capital left here, because this Nkalu brothers was the one that financed Star Paper Mill. So because it's one-man business, you take what is from here and you hand over. So Star Paper Mill was growing. Nothing was brought back to Nkalu brothers. So if you are giving Nkalu brothers, you don't have the same opportunity of growth as the one that is thriving, which was Star Paper Mill. So be that as it may, Nkalu brothers is still there. We have our issues that are pertaining to the first son. Star Paper Mill ran into trouble with AMCON and all that, attributable to my late brother Evangelist Echeme Nnana-Kalu. So they are not functioning the way he set it out. The Star Paper Mill grew. If they had one paper machine when my father was alive, recycling machine, they grew to up to 3 or 4 paper recycling machines. So that growth, they also encountered problem from my own perspective, because I don't have any hand in it. I ran Star Paper Mill while my father was alive, but since my shareholdership is not in that direction, I think they encountered production cost problem associated with power, energy, which if they had adjusted to natural gas firing of their gen instead of diesel, probably they would have still been there. But along the line, they also borrowed to expand. There's a way you value yourself. It's not that they were value-wise. They also had a conversion machine in Ibadan, a part of the expansion package. And then they over-expanded. And in the process of over-expanding, they didn't have the working capital that should lead in repayment of all their debts. So But thank God, even the governor of Abia State is looking into the Star Paper Mill issue to see if he can bring foreign investors that can partner and still keep it working. So, but the machines are there. Most of these machines have up to 90 years lifespan. So it's not like that is not feasible to see there. The Nnana-Kalu brothers, the properties that was not extracted from Nnana-Kalu brothers, they're all there. Like this property, like number 1, number 3, Echeme Nnana is our family house. They are there. So that is still part of, but some of what he gave out, some of them are no longer there. You know, when you give something out to somebody, anything can happen to it. You know, so that is, the family is still intact, despite the series of deaths we have had. Out of 11 men, we have 4 now, which means we have been visited by deaths seriously. The second wife is no more, my mother is no more, so there's only one surviving wife that's still in our midst. But most of our sisters are still here. There's properties now, so the rent, because we have tried to reactivate it to go back into importation. We'll try to work with our elder brother in his company. That arrangement didn't work out. It even exposed us to some danger. So for now, is the rent, because these are strategically located properties. Well, I think it was a groundbreaker in terms of where he started from and where he journeyed to. Even at that, he didn't go through formal education. He went through tutorials. He could speak the English language. He can dictate letters, whatever, communicate with his foreign partners. So he didn't lack anything. He was full of knowledge. He was very intelligent, to the extent that he's a peacemaker anyway. He was not the one that always get himself into embroiling, and he was honest. He will say the truth, no matter what. His word is his honor. So he's that kind of a person, and he embraced God in the last vestiges of his life. That's why he built a church for God. Well, his shoes are big, and very big shoes, but you can never tell who can feel somebody's shoe, since the journey is still not finished. Secondly, you still have so many grandchildren. If the shoe cannot be filled by children, there are grandchildren and there are great-grandchildren. Even as I am now, at 70 years, I have 6 children. I have 7 grandchildren, and I expect to have great-grandchildren. So the family legacy or the family tree is not shortened by the deaths we have had. It's not shortened by the death of our father. While his name rings bell, I don't think that bell will stop where he is. I think the bell will still ring, because we are still challenged to live up to the type of lifestyle he lived. We only saw the second one, not the first one. You didn't even see the first one.
We saw the first one. In fact, we even entered the compound.
I'm just telling you, you entered the second one. That's where I live. The first one he built it in his elder brother's compound. And you didn't even go to where he came from, in the Imezi, to start coming up to. That one is the second one. But at the time he was going to retire, Imuche. Because what year did he build the second one? And at that time he was going to retire. He felt that he needed a bigger house. And he made I and my elder brother to stay back in that second one before my elder brother built his own house. I'm still living in that second house. That's why it's still being maintained by me. Then the other children moved with him, with our mothers, to that third house. My late brother also went and built a very gigantic house. And this evangelist Echeme, which to me was overdoing it. But that third house is still there, still being maintained. That is where we held the wake keep and the burial of late evangelist Echeme, although he was interred in his own house. So the reason he moved was it was a retirement gift to himself.
Yeah, we entered the third house.
Yeah.
And why did you choose to keep living in that old building?
It's a very good question. Why not? Why not? That keeps his memory alive. Most people times, if I go and build a house, nobody will maintain the house. That place will be there. My other brother left and when I built his house. He's even having difficulty maintaining his own house. This one, if I go and build, it's not that I won't build, but even if I'm moving, I would like either some of my children to be there so that they can maintain the house, or it can be commercialized. If you leave a building like that, you just break down, no maintenance, it will wear and tear, it will just collapse. So his presence is still being felt in that house because I'm living there. So it's a lesson for other people anyway. Most people, young people, some of them, they didn't even have any decent home. So when they are building, and Abriba is full of so many buildings, beautiful buildings. So some of them, the trend is still there. But after building such giant, the other question is, can your children maintain it? It's not just building big houses. Maintenance is very important. Sustainability, that's what they call it. Hard work, honesty. There are so many things that are lacking in society this time. My father never took any bribe. He was not corrupt. Even in his political participation, he contributed to his party. He didn't ask them to give him any contracts. He was an importer of stockfish, so he just asked them to give him license to import. He will pay duty even to the government. That line of his business, he maintained it throughout. You know, instead of, because you can still do well in politics without taking contracts. If your business in politics, for example, everybody should be part of politics. Because if your interest in business and there is a bill in the House or Senate or whatever trying to frustrate that your line of business, it's your lobbying that can make them not to put through bills that can frustrate your business. So there are so many ways you can benefit by participating in politics, not necessarily by being corrupt or taking contract here or there. And also my community, Abriba, benefited a lot even from his leadership, the Community Development Union, all that. So many things that he did that made him stand out, even amidst our people. Just like myself, I've brought, while I was Commissioner of Works and Transport under Ugwuoke Bonaventure, I was able to construct roads in Abriba. We have done quite a few things, almost in a similar thread with my dad. Well, my children are home. It's only my first son who's abroad. I have 2 medical daughters. They're all here, FMC and all that. It doesn't mean that they can't go abroad. If your career will be better advanced while you're abroad, why not? The only important thing is for them to have the opportunity to visit often and know what the culture, the tradition are, whatever, and feel a sense of belonging when they are here, instead of being so secured abroad and not knowing what is going on here. So there's nothing wrong with it. After all, the Nigerian economy is such shambles. If we don't have those people in diaspora who are doing well, even like Abriba, you are seeing a lot of investment you are seeing in Abriba there is being done by those who are abroad, because they come back because of the culture and they enjoy it when they come back. So we know we have a very rich culture in Abriba, and we have a positive competition in our midst. When Abriba people started their sojourn in trading, because we were traders, we were business people, this Onyagala one approach was their mantra. And this apprenticeship was their mantra. When you take somebody in your wing, you teach him, you mentor him. And some of them even come and become bigger than their master. And when you see a good business, you get your brother involved and you thrive positively, not negative competition where you start killing one another. You know? So, and our culture is the integral thing that have kept Abriba going. We had our problems here and there, but our culture, if you understand Abriba culture very well, Abriba culture is very expensive to maintain, because a lot of things Abriba people done in their culture is like, it's just like trading. The culture is like trading. Because even when you do those retirement, whatever, all those things you are seeing there is retirement benefits for those who have served the community. You have stages of life in Abriba that you go into before you retire. So this is integrated. The culture is integrated, and we should even make it more of to be part of a tourist attraction map, so that season we have all these our things. I'm happy that even one of our younger men even built a very beautiful hotel that was just put up there last year, close to that Osumane this thing, and with even lift. Yes, Lotto World Hotel there. So, and that is the competitive spirit Abriba people have. One person will build a mighty mansion, the other one will build a mightier one, all this, that, and you don't see them going to kill each other. You know, then, and everybody is celebrating success. And our culture is interwoven in all these things. They waste a lot of money all the same in maintaining this culture. So all these things are things that can be harnessed. And what is our priority? We need light. Without light, we cannot, the Abriba people can develop Abriba. If you go to Abriba, you see that most of those infrastructures were brought about by Abriba people. Even those cement roads, it's not government. The one government did is there, while they themselves have to help themselves. Sometimes government also come in to do one or two things. Even the general, the Akahaba hospital is built by Abriba people. Yeah, they know that high school by Abriba people. Ugwuoke girls by Abriba people. So many things. You see, so that is the spirit of Abriba anyway. And this age grade system that is also there. It's also made the competition. And you have this other aspect of Otutwenyi, which is coming. They are using it to also help to develop the community. So, but there's still a lot of work to do in Abriba.